Hi to everyone, and welcome back to our workshop. Why I'm saying welcome back, because we have had series of workshop already during this project throughout this year and a half. So this is a next step towards developing a roadmap, which is really important tool to bring to life in practice all those outcomes, what we have developed or still developing during this project. And the roadmap is meant to lead the actors through the bottlenecks towards efficient upscale in the field of active and healthy aging. So it's really important to be ready. Okay, now it's my signature sentence. To be ready for the moment when we get old. So that's why we're doing this workshop today and preparing all those outcomes for the future. Today's agenda or today's plan is to have a short introduction made by Maarika, and she will tell us about roadmap for innovation scale up, and what is the current status and what are the what is the aim for this roadmap. Then we will divide you to two separate Zoom breakout rooms, and then we will have a discussion, and those breakout rooms will have different focuses, but Maarika will explain this later when we have reached this moment. And then we will discuss the results and talk about the next steps, what will happen to the roadmap and to the what will happen to the roadmap in the nearest future, in the coming months, and when it will be ready. So Maarika, are you ready? Oh, I can see you, Maarika.
Excellent. always helps if you can see me, and it also helps if you can hear me.
Both.
Hello, everyone.
Positive. Yeah.
Excellent. Hello, everyone. I will show a few slides to go through that, just so you have a visual aid. As Piret said, the aim of the roadmap we are creating is that's the official sentence there: to lead actors in the field of healthy and active aging through the bottlenecks of efficient upscaling of novel solutions. And as I worked on this roadmap, for me, the most important emphasis in this sentence is to lead actors, and that means everybody involved in the process. During the project, the project partners have worked on a lot of specific focused reports and documents and suggestions that target specific groups. We have the data management guidelines specifically meant to help companies. We are developing a set of policy proposals, policy recommendations. The scale-up model is meant to help companies and clusters, accelerators, and other support organizations. So now this roadmap would be taking together the whole picture and, so to say, put the responsibility on everybody involved. Throughout all the different parts of the project, we've worked with different aspects, and we found a list of bottlenecks or barriers that are currently hindering successful development. And right now we can see them in the following areas of focus. It's awareness, perception, acceptance, accreditation and approval, reimbursement, investment, users, data, And obviously, I found investment important that I put it in the list twice. I will show some examples later when it comes to those areas of focus. But as it's still work in progress, the definition of those focus areas might change. We, in that sense, we look forward to feedback and contributions from all of you. And secondly, what I'd like to emphasize is, if we look at the bottlenecks in each focus area, we will often see that when we go down to the root cause, there's a lot of overlap and a lot of everything is interconnected. So defining, it helps if we define the base root problems and work on from there. The way we process it is identifying barriers and problems, which has been done a lot by the project partners, and we're still collecting input about it, and we'll also have a chance to discuss some of these things in the breakout rooms. And then we would be looking to analyze the criticality of a problem, because it's not realistic that we will go and solve every issue that comes up. We need to choose, we need to prioritize what is important and what makes the biggest difference, or what has the greatest impact. Then we'll work on suggesting solutions, and there again, the focus is which solutions are realistic, which are doable, and which we also have to be very, very aware of that some solutions might be all out of our reach, or might be too resource consuming, etc. And once again, with problems, the solutions as well, there can be quite a bit of overlap. So analyzing which solutions would be the most efficient to address the problems identified. And then we get to the part where we look at the actors. Who would be the ones helping to solve their issues? Who will be helping to remove the barriers? And once again, that varies from, it could actually be the elderly. It could be the companies, the solution providers. It could be industry organizations, accelerators, clusters, or it could be the public sector. So I can't emphasize it enough. It would be a shared responsibility. It's not that the expectations are only on one stakeholder group or only one party. And lastly, we would assign a timeline to see which activities or which solutions are doable in the most immediate future, which are more strategic long-term questions. Just to give you a few examples, so you get an idea and to get your thoughts flowing. So for example, in the awareness, exception, perception focus area, one of the problems we've identified in the project is that healthcare professionals they're not eager to accept new digital solutions or new novel solutions. But as we've gone deeper to analyze it, it is that they don't feel involved and empowered enough, so they wouldn't even know what the solutions are about or how they could benefit. So empowering them by including them in the process of development and implementing. And for example, one of the suggestions has been that when when the solution provider develops a solution, not only the healthcare professional inputs data into it and as some sort of central system accepts it, but also there is a chance for the healthcare professional to use that data. So it would be a two-way communication or two-way flow. In the focus area of data, one of the problems identified is that for solution providers, for companies, it's challenging to get access to health data in registers and biobanks for product validation. And the solution is that we have to move towards standardizing patient health files and ensuring interoperability of electronic health data. So there are some initiatives already in place for that, but it should be both fueled from the public sector as well as the industry itself. Industry could promote responsible, secure data collection and use, while the public sector could work towards harmonization of regulations. And the third example I'd like to highlight is in the field of investment. And one of the problems identified there is a lack of investor activity in the active and healthy aging market. And reason being, the investor community they don't understand the technology, they're not familiar with the field, they don't realize the benefits, and often the benefits can be long-term. So they're hesitant to invest in the field. And solutions proposed are implementing initiatives that encourage investor activity in the active healthy aging market. For example, accelerators and clusters can include and involve investors in their ecosystem, so they will come into contact with companies and solutions and activities in the field. It gives them a chance to gradually learn about it. Specific investment programs with focus on active healthy aging could be created for example, by the EU, so investors would see them, so to say, see that it is an existing field with potential, and it would build more trust. So all in all, these are just some of the examples. We as you can imagine, we have a longer list of problems that we're tackling. We want to make sure that we will match it with a just as good list of solutions. But now when we break up into discussion groups, we'll be focusing on just two focus areas or aspects. One is reimbursement, and one is approval and accreditation, and possibly evaluation. And today's task is just to brainstorm. So when you give your suggestions or things that pop into your head, don't analyze too much. We can work on fine-tuning the details later, but we need to get the thoughts moving and thoughts going. So whatever you come up with, please don't hesitate to share. I've very briefly gone through the roadmap because it's still a work in progress. We'll be working on it for a while, and you can add your feedback in the process as well. But right now, it's all for me. If anybody has questions right now, I'm open for that.
I have a question, Maarika. Can you also shortly go through the questions that we will discuss during this breakout session?
Okay, so we will look at what are current bottlenecks and barriers. We have some some examples or some ideas already that we've identified during the project. We'll discuss what could be the potential solutions and who would be the parties that could implement those solutions. And then if we have time, we'd also look at the criticality of how important those problems are and what would be the timeline for the solutions to be implemented. But the focus would be more on the discussion of barriers and solutions.
Okay, and also possible stakeholders who should, could, or would solve these issues. Okay, so we have two different topics. Reimbursement, Maarika will lead this part, and I will take approval and accreditation. So now you will be divided into, sorry, I'm going to have to leave earlier. Okay, it's okay. And then you will be automatically divided into two breakout rooms, and then see you. And also these breakout rooms will be recorded for the, not to be published anywhere, but just for the for the record, so we we will not lose all the brilliant ideas that you are going to provide share with us. So yeah, we are ready for the breakout rooms.
So, Piret, do you want to start off with saying what you discussed, or shall I start it?
You can start, and I can speak finally. Magic. You can start.
It's been a fun journey. So we talked about reimbursement, and if it was as expected, right? The burden of barriers is quite heavy when it comes to that. And one like during the project, we suggested that an issue is that the reimbursement schemes in Europe are so fragmented that it's difficult for companies to find their way around. In our discussion, we actually realized that we should look at getting understanding and getting through the reimbursement schemes in the member states already is an issue, because it's often very complicated and costly for SMEs and startups with novel solutions, that they can't even work through the reimbursement schemes in their own, so to say, country of origin, not even to talk about internationalization. And the second aspect that was emphasized a lot was like how to convince a payer, the policymaker. It's still, you have to start from so peer to peer, but it's not about somebody from above saying this is a great thing and that's a great solution, that you talk patient to patient, clinician to clinician, that you start with this level before you start convincing the public sector, the reimburser, the payer. So these are the two main aspects that we discussed.
Okay, we had also quite many ideas. What are the barriers, and just to bring out some. So first was, of course, very confusing and lack of information, because it's really difficult to find what are the correct sources for this kind of information, what you should do in order to apply for CE mark, for instance. And in Estonia, we even don't have notified bodies. So closest ones are in Finland, I know, and I visited one of the notified body in Slovenia. So it's quite, but at the same time, something that we can easily fix with this project, because what you have to do is, us as a clusters, or we have other clusters also in our project, we can take the lead here and try to collect the information and provide the information to our members, at least in a way that they really have easy access and an understandable content of the steps what they should do. Then what was discussed was this also, it was suggested that it could be or should be a part of our policy recommendations, is that harmonizing all the frameworks across the Europe, frameworks that are meant for assessment of the not technology assessment, but evaluating or assessing the digital services in healthcare. So this is also something that we can propose. I'm not sure when it will happen, looking at the how harmonized everything is in Europe anyway. So, but anyway, I think that this is something that we can propose. Then also having correct information, how to collect and what kind of data to be you need to collect when you use data for developing your solutions. So you need to start from a very first moment. You need to collect right data in order to be able to apply for the CE mark. And then it was also, there was a discussion that also partly touched reimbursement. So yeah, finding the correct business model for your solution is, of course, it's a key element. So I guess that we need to address this as well. And then there was one point I wanted to say, but now I forgot. Damn it. Sorry. Anyway. I guess that there was a good point, but anyway, we will listen to the recording and then we will not lose it. But yeah.
Integrated care? Was it integrated
Alenka,
care?
Yeah. Yes, Alenka?
I just wanted to say whether it was integrated care, which Diana mentioned.
Yeah. So we need to look at the integrated services rather than just single acts of services. And yeah, person is the element that should integrate those services according to the needs and the diagnosis and the situation that they have to deal with. So yes, yeah, that's all from our side.
Excellent, thank you. We will now be working on consolidating all that info. And hopefully, like among project partners, we will be talking more about it in the upcoming meetings. But hopefully by July, we will have a draft for more public consultation of a roadmap ready. But if anybody has anything, okay, where we have somebody wanting to comment.
Yeah, hi, thank you. I was not in the reimbursement room, so I don't know if you already discussed it, but I think it's very important to add this clause to the recommendation that when a certain product reaches a certain status, for example, it has proven its efficacy, safety, the benefit for patients and people, the greater impact, then the policy should have this part also, that if somebody employs this product, buy this product or employ this service, then it has to be reimbursed by the payer, or it should have a greater chance of being procured. Like the government should buy it, the hospital should buy it if it's already proven itself, because time and again, SMEs and startups, well, maybe if not all startups, but if it is a not pure IT component, a lot of innovation organization, they do not have a single penny for marketing, branding, PR or sales. They don't have any person or any department for those things. Like for example, for our company, every penny we earn, we reinvest it for either providing care for the patients that we are responsible for, or to improve the digital product. So we really don't have any money to do all those things. So if somebody says that, okay, you have a fantastic product, now go to the market, we're already in the market. Now, you know, go and survive. See if you can survive.
Okay.
Then we really are in deep, deep trouble. So very briefly, the policy recommendation should also recommend that if a product is proven, then it should be bought, it should be used, it should be reimbursed.
Okay, excellent. Well, we'll have to discuss what that threshold would be. But Alenka, you wanted to add something?
Thank you. It was just a short idea, a brief idea. When Anupama was talking about healthcare system not understanding what IT is doing or saying, and vice versa. And then we come to policymakers, which are not from one or the other brand. So when we do these recommendations, maybe we suggest the European Commission to make rules so that policymakers will have to obey. And this would be the faster way of introducing and bringing in harmonization in all these systems.
Okay. Okay.
It might or might not be done, but this would speed up the process.
It's and that's just one aspect that we talked about in our group as well. But we need to put a lot of work into mediating and translating so everybody understands that. So, and that will be the clusters, accelerators, industry organizations. We constantly have to go and like mediate the four different parties, their demand, the supply, and the policymakers, right? Excellent. Thank you, everybody, for your input. We'll be working more on that, and you're welcome to email me or get in touch with me if you have anything else to add or ask any questions of how it's going. Piret, anything else, or we can
wrap up and yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah. So thank you all for participating. Thank you for your lively input to this. At least in our group, we had quite lively discussion, discussions. So see you next time. I even don't know, because stay tuned. We do have events coming. Quite many in the future. So just check from our website and please give us feedback to this roadmap. Thank you and see you later.